your experience with the branding piece, because that to me is huge, and I think more people are getting hip to it. But it's obviously it's funny because in the life insurance space, the only business where you buy leads or you generate leads, but you're not on them. For most of the people, they work with lead vendors, not marketing companies like
Yeah.
ourselves. Can you talk about your experience with your actual leads? Because ironically, we did the recruiting ads first, and then we started doing the branded leads because that was priority, etc. Can you talk about your experience now that you're on your own ads and it's branded as your agency, etc.? Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I think honestly, the main thing is that you automatically come in with having more credibility to where you can reference, like, hey, I saw, like, you watched a video of me talk about this. This is my business, my organization. Like, it's legitimate, it's credible who you're talking to. Not only am I the one at the beginning of your experience, but I'm also the person that comes along with your policy. So I think that people like that, as far as that they know exactly who I am, exactly who they're talking to, and I'm going to be around to help them and their family when it comes to the worst time of their life and they need to be able to protect their home and their largest asset. So I think the branding in itself just gives so much more credibility to people because I mean, obviously there's like a lot of scam and crazy things that are out there on the internet. So I think being able to say, hey, you filled out my ad of X agency or whatever that looks like, and being able to name that, it kind of think just ties it all together and creates more trust between you and your client from the minute that they see that video. And then they're going to say, hey, they saw Giovanna on the video. Now Giovanna's calling them. I'm the one that's going through all the information with them. And I'm also the one that's going to help their family when this insurance, is going to be utilized. So I
Right.
think it just kind of holds a lot of weight from start to finish for the client.
About what are you telling agents to get them up and running fast? I mean, I've literally watched, like I said, you're getting people up and running within the first month, doing sometimes 10 to 15K plus. But what are you telling them? So imagine an agent of yours is on this Zoom. What's the conversation that you're having with them that could help, any agent out there to ensure that they start this thing off right?
Yeah. So I think number one is mindset of just coming into it knowing that you want to keep a positive mindset no matter what's happening. I think also understanding that closing a client, getting a deal is not the only win in this industry at all. For me, like, one of my favorite things about the industry is helping agents and seeing like that light bulb go off for them where like everything just clicks. And sometimes it takes people a little bit longer to get to that. But I think also being coachable and understanding that this is going to be a learning curve no matter what background or experience that you have. So I think having a positive mindset, seeing that there are more wins than just closing a deal, being coachable, and being open to constructive criticism. Because in phone sales, you don't notice that you're saying 10,000 times throughout a call, or that you're saying certain word tracks that are not resonating with the client for them to trust you or to be in a space to move forward. Or so there's like a lot of psychology behind the sale when it comes to like tonality and, like I said, word tracks, and really just repetition. Like I said, when I first started doing 8 to 10K a month, like I was in that for the first few months. Now I'm able to do that on a weekly basis, which is amazing, but it also takes time to get there. And you really have to put the effort into like sharpening your skill set and knowing like what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and figuring out what you need to do to be able to sharpen those and just kind of get better. But yeah, I mean, I would say just being disciplined with your time, being intentional with your dial time. Like, don't let anything or anybody mess with that. If you're saying that you're going to be dialing from 8 to 11, then be intentional and dial from 8 to 11, because you can dial from 8 to 11 and be intentional about that and do your, 200 dials, 300 dials, whatever it is, or maybe only do 100 because you have a lot of people that answer. But then there's also dialing and like scrolling on your phone and, getting distracted with other things. And I think being a new agent, you really have to focus on staying structured to what is your goals for that dial session. Are you hitting those? Why are you not hitting them? How are you going to do differently on your next dial session to be able to hit those? So of course, it comes down to work ethic as well. And everyone's going to be a little bit different when it comes to that, but it's really not like rocket science. Like, anybody can do this. It doesn't matter what background or previous training or experience that you have. It's really just having a good mindset, being coachable, and following the blueprint that your mentors are giving you. And that's, I mean, exactly what I've done throughout my entire career of doing this. So
Right, right.